Alright everybody, it has been a long while since you've seen me post a video on this channel. Explanation before we go into everything about it and the premise of this. I just haven't been around to play a lot of Lorcana because of work. Work closing, so going to locals is very few, not very often. And so I really can only make time for store championships. And I did play another store championship prior to this season, and I did win a card. I just never put the content together and really felt the to put it out there. But today we did something great, and so I felt like it'd be more than enough sense to make another video just to show it off a little bit, especially at the earlier part of set championships, where you can actually use the deck list right here and right now before new cards come out. So, yippee. We'll go into the deck list and everything about it in just a second. Alrighty, everybody. Took a little break in between that recording just saying what's up, because the ice cream truck pulled up and I had to get myself a milkshake to celebrate. But going into a little bit of the deck list, I want to just say thank you to the Dream Wizards crew that I hang around with, that I get to play with on occasion. Josie lent me a Tamatoa that I got to use for the event, which came up a lot. Thank goodness. I also just want to say thank you to the phenomenal people I got to play against. Everyone was good times, good vibes. I got to do a little rematch versus a particular someone who's going to the World event, Mr. Kurt Spies. Last time I played him, I was also playing blue-red during set 2, and he just stomped my face on camera with purple-red. But enough dilly-dally. I know everybody just wants to see this part of the deck list. Just want to chit-chat. But pretty normal. So we have 4 Popsicle. Pretty standard, of course, you know, it's Popsicle. I don't think Blue-Red will ever not play this card for the most part. A tech card, a copy of Hideaway, because locations are always annoying for Blue-Red, because if you don't have Rush Maui, it sucks. And when I was under the interpretation I'd be seeing a lot more Blue-Red today, I was like, if they're playing like Dincom Fams list and just copying it card for card and playing McDuck Manor, that's just something I didn't want to have to worry about as much. And you still want to have it to recycle with Maui Shark. We have For Sale, the Azurite Sea, also pretty standard card. Be hard to see this deck play without it. I only played 1 game today where I didn't have ramp on 2, which is very good with how many games I had to play today. We're of course on 4 Tipo. Helps a lot versus the aggro matchups, which came very much so when I played my round 5 against Kurt, because he was playing yellow-green Chernabog puppies, or dogs. Chernadogs, I think is what it's quoted as. So it hit a Curse Merfolk and just was like a presence. We have 4 Visions of the Future. Also very normal. You want to be able to look at the top 5 cards, pick any card you want. It's just, you know, Magic equivalent. Scry 5, draw 1. Very nice. Another tech card. I played Maui's Fishhook. I love this card to death, but also you'll see in a bit I'm playing 6 Tamatoa, of course. So being able to add back the Fishhook or play it for free when he quests, and then giving one particular character in this deck evasive, or being able to hit locations for more just matters a lot. I didn't get to hit any locations for more, but I did get to give a lot of things evasive, which matter a lot versus all the purple matchups with Genies, 5-cost Elsas, just running rampant, and even Iagos. We're playing 3 Brawl. A lot of blue-red decks typically don't play this anymore, and they just stick to the idea of we're going to ramp really hard and then play big Sisu or B-Prep. And I still have a chunk of that going on, but this card matters a lot more into one early game aggro, which I use it on occasion, acting as removal outside of just Let It Go, and the Sisus and the B-Preps. But also, it's a target which I'll be hitting. It's a target for Maui, and a target I'll be hitting off of the next following card you'll be seeing shortly, which is the All-Star. The replacement Hiram, basically, is a 4 Robin Hood Sharpshooter. If you're not familiar with him, because he came out in set 5 from Shimmering Skies, his ability is when he quests, I look at the top 4 cards on my deck, and I reveal an action card that costs 6 or less, and I play it for free, and I put the rest on my discard. This is really important going into what looks to be a very like mid-rangey / aggro metagame, because your turn 4 play for a lot of blue-red players is just like how far I'll go or Grandma Tala, which is a perfectly fine and acceptable play. But I noticed that since all the blue-red players were cutting out on Brawl, basically, that if I'm developing this on turn 3 after I've ramped, whether I'm on the play or on the draw, of course, everyone prefers to be on the play. Being able to quest with this, getting in that 2 lore is really aggressive, because more often than not, they can't clear it with the buys they do have. And being able to just basically shotgun advantage, whether that's ramping for more cards, ramping for more ink, drawing more cards, or Pirate's Lifing early, getting that on rotation is really sick, as well as milling your items, which you saw. Like milling the fish hook, being able to Tamatoa play, add it back with a popsicle is really good. So I just love this card to death. It's a fan favorite of mine, but also just served a lot of purpose after Hiram got hit, giving you another thing to work around with. Next card is, of course, For How Far I'll Go. I mean, it's just one of the most goated ramp spells, being able to replace itself, as well as be sung, which is nice for your Mauis if they're just sitting there dead. And then it's giving you natural card selection, basically. Scry to play one as a land, or put one in your Inkwell. I'm using a lot of magic terms here. And then grab the other one. For All Is Found. At one point I was at 3, but I wanted to maximize the odds of being able to hit it when I wanted it. This card's really neat because it just takes all your dead characters and puts them into your Inkwell. So at least you have like a ton of ramp to go into. So if you go turn 3 Robin Hood, turn 4 you quest with it, you'll be at 5 ink from naturally inking. And then this will put you at 7 by turn 5. And then by turn 6 you're dropping, 8 cost C2 and all that goodness. And you're still applying aggressive pressure with lore, and then you're setting yourself up for later game scenarios. The mill never really threw me off. It was great all around. And there were a couple games where I actually did play this, unlike DKP when he played it for his deck list. I didn't get to play any discard matches because there are very few, but I just liked it a lot, being able to say, okay, even though I drew it as a dead card when I was in those like very low card economy kind of game states, I was able to play this to get my two ink rather than having to ink another valuable card. But yeah, if I did draw this early, I would usually just ink it more often than that, unless there was a matchup where I needed to be able to drop bombs quicker. Of course, we're also on For Let It Go. There are so many big things in this format, and Red Purple is playing Lumiere to bump their team so you can't see through them, so you have to B-prep them, which is really rough. And not everything dies to Brawl anymore. So having Let It Go as one of your Robin Hood targets to just keep you in a game as like a surprise factor, as well as be able to sing with all your characters, is just really good. So I don't really care about ramping my opponent, because more often than not, I'll be playing bigger things, hopefully. With the same thing in mind, we're maxing out on 4 Maui, because this is your only efficient way to remove stuff that is exerted. Yeah, I did at one point consider playing Scar for another board wipe impact, but I decided not to play it. Maui counting himself as well as his shark counterpart for Fishhook is great. Clears a mana in one go. And, it just sticks on the board well enough to where if your opponent doesn't want to out it, they basically can't quest unless they have it specifically evasive. And just being able to sync combo turns is really neat. So, when you go Robin Hood quest and then they clear it because they're like, oh, this is a problem now, you can still follow up with a Maui and clear their threat that cleared yours, which is pretty okay. And I'm talking too fast. Someone please comment and tell me. Let me know so I can break it down a little bit slower. We're on, of course, 4 Maui Shark. This is the best card in the deck. This is basically the win con, of course. And it combos really well with Robin Hood because you are still playing an action. Therefore, when you're going quest Robin Hood for 2, looking at the top 4, and then you get to card selection with the actions, you then get to proc this because you're playing it. So that's really neat. You get to fill up the discard for actions that you want to retrieve off of Maui if they give you the opportunity, as well as gaining lore simultaneously. It's very neat. We're on 3 Happy as a Clam Tamatoa. I didn't want to max out on 4 copies because since Hiram's gone, you being able to recycle them is not nearly as often. There were games where I did just Tamatoa add back 1 popsicle, and I either had to ink another popsicle earlier, or I just didn't mill them, which is perfectly fine. It's just an efficient body that is threatening, being able to quest for 2 and still trade with stuff. One of the things I did twice today was I quested with this Tamatoa to cheat out a particular item you're about to see in a second, and that was very efficient because in my finals I then followed up with a B prep, so I cheated out a significant mana cost to then swing some lore and tempo in my favor. I was on 3 Pirate's Life. This card is very good, don't get me wrong, but I didn't want to have it all the time, of course, because if you don't want to dead draw it, you want it when you need it, but you don't want to ink it at all. So just putting in a rotation is very good. I mean, it's Pirate's Life. What more can I say? These decks get so aggressive and they try to time you out so quick that you just really need it, and it just kills people really quick with the shark. We're on 3 B prep. This is a little bit anti-synergistic with the Robin Hood because we can't cast it off of its ability because it only does 6 or less. But it's still very good because it sets it up for the Shark to add back Be Prep, so then it's always a threatening aura. And you do need an amount of this for sure, knowing that people are going to go much bigger than your board state can handle, since you can't interact with things that are not exerted, and your Sisu doesn't clear everything anymore. And we're not playing like things that reduce their attack power like Ice Block or the Sapphire Coil, which I considered at one point as well. But unfortunately playing more items is rough. This is the card I was talking about that cheated out with the Tamatoa. Lucky Dime. I love this card a lot. I feel as though whenever you play red, purple, or more grindy control matchups, Dime was always what mattered. From my previous experience playing blue, red for so long is when you played a blue-red mirror while Hiram was still legal, it didn't matter if your opponent had Hiram if you had enough gas to open up Dime and just keep gaining lore every turn. And this card won me so many games today, being able to mill it off with a Robin Hood, add it back to hand as a finisher, or just to fetch it with all the visions and the how far it goes and the draw power that exists in the deck. Very happy with it. It won me my final game of my final match at the top, where I basically quested with a Tipo that was remaining, and then he stuck around again, and then I added the Dime off of a vision, and then just set it up to where I Pirates Life to gain 2, made them lose 2. I was at 18, and then, Tipo is very unassuming, especially, and their only out was Hades or Elsa, which they used a good chunk of. So at that point, I just played the Dime, quested for the 1, and then gained the 1. Very good. Next up, I have 3 Sisu in the deck because you still want to play this card too. You draw, 3 copies in a 60-card deck, 1 in 20 cards. You're seeing at least 14 cards in the deck. Realistically, you should see it in a matchup where you need it. And if you don't, that's unfortunate. Math is math, luck is luck, so be it. Good card, worked really well with Dime, killing people a lot quicker. Definitely had some people on the edge with that, being able to basically gain 6. And the last 2 cards are 2 copies of Maleficent Dragon. I was, again, under the interpretation that I would see more blue-red, and I was afraid that we didn't have enough efficient outs for their bodies that were a lot bigger, and just in everyone else in general. So being on 2 copies of this let me be a little more flexible with my removal when I wanted to, play a lot slower, as well as provide another big body that just threatened lore and was able to be lucky dimed. This could have been anything, so I was considering other things like Nothing to Hide because I love knowing my opponent's hand, so I play less on the sense of aura and like play pattern and more on just full knowledge. But Maleficent Dragon did come up a good chunk, and I'm happy that I had it. I think it did impact at least a game or 2 while having it in mind, and having my opponent have to see that as a threat that could drop down with enough ink. But that is the deck list. It was a lot of words, a lot of yapping. I'm going to talk about some of my matchups going into this next segment while I open up some of the prize packs. Just to prove also outside the picture, here's the mat right here. I don't want to take it out because I'm just lazy. I hate having to roll the mats up into tubes. And then, of course, I have the card right here, Vuozhao. Very cool card. I like the art on this a lot. Maybe this will be one of the first ones I keep for a while. But we decided to split top 8's prize packs and just basically play for the mat. And I'm all down for splitting, so I'm not upset about it at all. Could have been at 32 packs, I think, which would have been like a box and a half, which would have been really sick. But, I mean, I wasn't going to take that gamble. I actually missed my grandma's birthday to try to win this, which I was hoping that I'd make better timing, but I did not. So that's on me, but grandma's not upset at me, so that's what I'm happy about. So going into the tournament, of course, again, let's reiterate, I don't play a lot of Lorcana anymore. Unfortunately, I don't get to go to many locals, but I played a lot of card games in general. So, deck building is one of my favorite parts about it, and playing isn't too uncommon or unnatural. Even, being at a little bit of a quote-unquote deficit playtime. One of my things that I like about the most with this game is I feel like I can always pick up blue-red and innovate on it and accommodate to the meta game that I see a little bit of, and just talking to friends about it and then seeing YouTube videos. So that's where I felt as though, going into set championships, I'm always confident, at least playing this deck, that I can do something and do well and at least make top 8. And I'm very blessed to have that. Green, purple. Oh, a lot of dual color cards here. Daisy Duck. Oh, Akita. I need a copy of this because I have some ideas in mind. And Hollow Jafar. This Jafar does see play, so that's neat. My first round was against red yellow aggro. It was fun to play against them. They did some neat things with, LeFou readying their Pluto to then discount more characters. And they had Rockstar Stitch in mind. So that was very, very cool. We won that matchup 2-1. Round 2, I played against blue-purple, which was my only loss today, match-wise. And I think I lost to that because I hadn't read Iago in a while, so I forgot that he has Evasive. So that mattered a lot because he was able to clear my Robin Hood when I thought he couldn't. And I should have let it go which that misplay didn't end up costing me the game, but it definitely swung in a way where I could have had a much different outcome. And also what really ended the game was I was stabilizing, but then he had hit runner with 8-drop Elsa, freezing my stuff and then doing it a second time. And that I just couldn't beat. Round 3, I played against another blue-purple. And I just want to remind you guys, there's that video on the channel where I played blue-purple, so it is one of my favorite colors. Seeing that deck change, not different card-wise, but metagame-wise versus my deck list from before is just very funny. And it's also now playing 6-drop Gaston, which I'm so proud of. Playing against another blue-purple, my friend Josie. I know, it wasn't my friend Josie quite yet. It was a new guy that I never played against before that drove like an hour and 45 minutes out to play. He played very well. Oh, look, a blue. That's funny. He played very well. He had some nice techs like Cusco, which was very neat to get rid of the items. That did come up. He was still playing locations too, which was always threatening. I remember those games being close. Round 4, I played against Josie, and I had to play through all of his Hades because he drew like 3 of them and bounced one of them, and that was rough. But we also got there with a Maui Shark, and we had to hide away our own items, so then we would gain the lore to win the game. Again, these are all like 2-1 matchups, so it was all very close. Round 4, round 4 was Josie. Round 5 was Kurt, where he was playing Cherna Dogs. So I'd never seen the deck before because I thought yellow-green was always like a very much like a hyper aggro deck or like a pretty alright control deck with all the songs. So what ended up happening, a queen, yippee, 2 legendaries, okay. Not like the super banger ones, but the ones I don't have because I don't have a lot of cards in the set, so that's sick. He ended up hyper aggroing me down so quick in game 2. I won game 1. Game 2, he hyper aggroed me down so quick. With him killing me by like turn 5. And even though I had like Maui and Robin Hood to shoot 2 of his things, he just had Exacxies. So that was rough. Game 3 was a little bit more in my favor because he was stuck on 2 Chernobyls in his hand, and he was able to discard them. But at that point, I established what was basically a Maui Shark that had a Tipo behind it, so that if he ever quested, knowing also I had a Sisu in my hand that I had to build up to, if he ever quested, my Shark was just going to eat his board and get a lot of free value. So, happy to get that run back with him and actually beat him this time around, knowing that, he's a good player and he's going to be going to the World event. It reminds me of the last set championship I played, where I played against a person who got top 8, I believe, at a DLC with Blue Steel. Well, I was also playing Blue Red another time, which, if you want to see that content for whatever reason, like an old highlight, like a highlight reel or something, I'd be down to put that together. It's just me talking about locals and like my round-around basis, but, the lost footage of Mini, if you will. Round 6, I had to play out and couldn't ID because my opponent, who was on red-purple, got paired up against me. I did beat him 2-0. I want to say it was close, but game 2 wasn't very close. Game 1 was a little bit more reasonable, I believe. But again, great sport. Everyone's getting shocked by the Robin Hood today, just being what I did. And then I ended up becoming first seed into top 8 because I won that last round. Of which point, round 8, I played against another red-purple. Round 6, going a little back. I was playing around Lady Tremaine the whole time, so I was really hyped when he played it, and I played around it because I knew I just called it. I felt it. And then, round 8, I played against another red-purple, and he Medusa'd a lot of my Robin Hood, so they never got to resolve. But I still brought it out there with the dime combo, ending the game there. Just knowing how much red-purple versus red-blue I played against, it's just like, it's night and day. And then round 4 in top 8, I played against Amber Steel for the first time today for the tournament. And we clutched out with Robin Hood doing his thing again with Shark and Pirate's Life. Being able to mill it and then gaining 2 lore, making them lose 2, and just keeping him off because he was threatening lethal at being at 19. I just kept bringing him down a peg, brought him all the way down to 15, and just kind of quested out for game. And then the last round, another blue-purple, at which point to what I saw, she was playing great all day. It was her first time making it to the finals of a store championship, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we just did our we got established with Tamatoa for a little while that just kind of sat and quested until it cheated out a dime. And then the dime let me, the cheated out dime let me game 2 targeting Tamatoa, and then I followed up with a B prep. So I was basically aggroing her down to a point where it was just like too far of a deficit, so then anything I hit just like wins the game. Giant Cobra Beast. Oh, a Baymax. Oh, and a Hollow. This is my family. Yeah, that's the report for today. I mean, it was really funny comparing Robin Hood to just new Hiram. It's not nearly as good because you don't get the immediate ability to just pop your items and get your cards out of it, but it was a very cool substitute, and its versatility being able to act as ramp, card draw, or removal, which is phenomenal. I'm going to play in another set championship next week at Dream Wizards, so hopefully I do well enough and you see another video there. I need another one of this. I hope to put something funnier together and play that just to see what I can do, because I always like to play blue-red to feel comfortable and then win a card at least, and then if I can attend anymore, then I'll play some different decks. Foreshadowing, I might play a blue steel list, even though they got hit pretty significantly off the ban list, which I never spoke about here. And it's going to be ally-based with Whole New World, so, if I can make that happen. There's already a good chunk of allies who play in the deck anyway, so we'll just see how that goes. I wonder how many people are staying for this little bit. Oh, a Scrooge! Wow, 3 legendaries. Let's go! I didn't have any copies of this, so that's super sick. That's like a $10 card, I believe. That's awesome. And if it's not that, I really wanted to play a Amber Purple Hyper Aggro list because I really like all the cards that just gain lore and draw you more cards while doing it. I think that's very neat. It just has a rough time in a Pete at that point. So, gambling the dice a little bit. Tweedledee, Tweedledum. How rude. Oh, a Donald. Oh, a new Perdita and a Hollow Lady. Yeah, there were like 33 players today at the event, so it was a pretty big house. I just want to say, if I didn't already say it already, thank you to Ben the TO at Game Castle for making it an awesome event. He bought pizza for everyone to get a slice. Hopefully, some people might have grabbed another one, so some people didn't get it. But a majority of the people got slices, which is great. Then we had a lunch break in between, which was very appreciated. And then, he does giveaways for, like, troves and other, like, Lorcana product that they send to get the game store's way. And it was just very nice. I love going there whenever I can for their store championships. And love seeing all the faces that appear. Oh, I need another copy of this. That's neat. The ally deck, it's foreshadowing. Coming up on the end of the pack opening here and just the end of the video. I appreciate anybody who is watching. I know I've only posted 2 videos on the channel, but people have been supportive, just watching and giving me a good, definitely more than a handful of views, at least more than 10. I could at least count on each finger. So I appreciate that. I know that I'm not super duper invested in making content, but I'd love to be. It'd be really sick to be able to make Lorcana or any card game for that matter of fact be like my main gig. Oh yes, I got the second copy. I have Amber Steel in the background just waiting for testing. But yeah. Oh, another Mushu, and a Pongo. Nice, this is a good pull. Now I have a cold full and a regular one. But yeah, hopefully you guys see more of me sometime soon. Maybe another set championship deck profile video. I really hope you guys do take what I said from my deck today and really get to put it to work. I hope some of you try it at least and consider it when you're going into your next store championships. But I know this has probably been a long video, so I'll keep it short and just say peace and love.